Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. So today we are looking at a brief from the EPA with lead in drinking water. Now we need to know some of the indicators and the sources of it, and we need to know how to identify it before it causes any problems. So first we need to identify the sources of lead in drinking water. Now there's no way to tell if your water has lead other than testing of it, but there are some ways you can take a look and see if it's potentially high. What would that be? Your home has faucets or fittings of brass which contain some lead. Your home or water system has lead pipes, or your home has copper wires with solder, and your house is less than 5 years old. It can happen a lot in older homes with older plumbing. You have naturally soft water, or water often sits in the pipes for several hours. So these are some things to look at. That being said, it's always a good idea to have your water periodically tested for lead, as there is no safe amount. And even if you don't have any of these listed above, it can still be in your water. Now, you might be asking, why is that a problem? It's a toxic metal, and it's known to be harmful to human health if ingested. And the exposure can also come from ambient air, soil, and dust, both inside and outside the home. Now, the question is, does it affect everyone equally? And that's not the case. Young children, infants, fetuses appear to be particularly vulnerable to lead poisoning. So we want to keep children safe and infants safe. And a dose of that lead would have little effect on an adult, can have a huge effect on the small body. And a child's mental and physical development can be irreversibly stunned or damaged in infants whose diets consist of liquids. Now, how does it get into your home? Well, typically lead gets into water after water leaves your local treatment plant or well, and that is a source of lead in your home is most likely the pipe or solder in your home's own plumbing. So even if you have a water treatment plant, and even if you don't have any of the conditions here, it can still come in from older plumbing or solder or something like that. And the most common cause is corrosion. After a while, pipes get old and some particles may leak in the water. And a reaction between the water and the lead pipes or solder can happen with dissolved oxygen, low pH, acidity, and low mineral content in the water are common causes of corrosion, and all kinds of water, however, may have high levels of lead. And one factor that increases corrosion is the practice of grounding electrical equipment, such as telephones, to water pipes. And any electrical current traveling through the ground wire will accelerate the corrosion of the lead pipes. So, does your home make a difference how old it is? Generally, lead-contaminated drinking water is most often a problem in houses that are very old or new, and up through the early 1990s, it was a common practice in some areas of the country to use lead pipes for interior plumbing. Also, lead pipes was often used for service connections that join residents to public water supplies. Plumbing installed before 1930 is most likely to contain lead, and copper pipes have replaced lead pipes in most residential plumbing. That being said, the use of lead solder with copper pipes is widespread. An expert regards this lead solder as a major cause of lead contamination. Now, how can you tell if your water has too much lead? Well, you should have your water tested, and you should have that done by a third party that has the experience to do it. And there's different testing procedures, but the main thing to do is to have your water periodically tested for lead. Because as you can see, there's a lot of different factors, but even if you don't have any of these factors, or if you do, you still don't know for sure. So it's always a good idea, because there's no safe amount of lead, and it can particularly affect children and infants, to always have your water periodically tested and analyzed for lead.